In my opinion, the definition of a lover girl is being a people pleaser on 2000. It's being a people pleaser on steroids. And so, that definitely has its cons. But we're going to start with the pros. I feel like the pros is that I'm never jealous of other people's love. I admire it. I encourage it. I support it. I remember a couple of years ago, my cousin got married and I was beyond overjoyed for him and his wife. And even still to this day, when memories of that day pops up on social media, I'm still excited about that day. I still love seeing it. I danced, I laughed, I cried. I had a ball at that wedding. I also have always been someone who always loved to watch romantic comedies. I've always liked to help my friends when their boyfriends or husbands wanted to surprise them with a proposal or a birthday. I've always been someone who likes to just spread love in the public. Like if I see someone in the store, if I see a woman and she looks beautiful, I'll tell her, "Oh, you look so pretty today. Your hair is so beautiful. I love your outfit." I've always been someone who would be willing to pay for the car behind me in the drive-thru, or get someone's groceries if they didn't have enough and I noticed that they were in line and they didn't have enough and I had it. I love listening to R&B, preferably 90s R&B. 80s be hitting sometimes too, but preferably 90s R&B, early 2000s. I like to make playlists for the people that I care about. I made a romantic playlist for my husband. I made a playlist for my best friend. So I love spreading love. Those are the positives. But the cons, the cons are that I've been in positions where I loved people that didn't even like me. Yeah, I know. I was in relationships, in friendships with people who didn't even like me. And for some odd reason, I thought that I could love them down. I thought that if they seen how hard I loved them, how hard I would go for them, I would be worthy enough for them to love me back. Another con is I told myself that the way that I love people, that was always going to be enough. But as I grow older, I realized that you can't always love people how you love. And I'll explain it a little bit further. Everyone has their own love language. And from my understanding, I believe it's 5 love languages. They're acts of service, gifts, to physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. I probably said that out of order, but like I said, I believe those are the 5 main ones. There could be more. Don't quote me on this. But I know for me personally, my love language, how you can speak my love language, my top 3 would be words of affirmation, acts of service, and quality time. Physical touch is beautiful, but my top 3 are words of affirmation, acts of service, and quality time. And that's how you speak to me. That's my love language. And that's how I would love everyone else. And I think that's beautiful. I think those are beautiful love languages. But what if I'm loving you in that way and your top love language is touch? What if I'm loving you in that way and your top love language is gifts? So I'm saying that to say that I had to learn that I had to understand people's love language and how they needed me to love them. Not in a negative way though, because I've done it in the toxic ways. I've done it in the negative ways where I was loving people how I felt like they needed me to love them. Well, how they wanted me to love them. And they still didn't love me back. So it's one of those things where understand how people need you to love them, but only understand that when you're going to get some reciprocity. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you should have some type of reciprocity. You're not asking for too much for someone to simply be genuine and honest and considerate of you and your feelings in your heart. That's not too much to ask. I know that now. I didn't know that before, but I know that now. Another con is that I didn't believe that I was supposed to, or that I was worthy of taking up space, that I was worthy of using my voice, that I was worthy of being seen in any way, shape, or form. So another con was that I could pour all my love into everyone around me, pour all my love into my circle, and just be on the sidelines, be everyone's cheerleader but my own. I didn't believe I was worthy enough for not just other people to cheer for me, but for me to even cheer for myself. I continuously counted myself out. I never even considered counting myself in. I didn't believe that I was beautifully and wonderfully made. I know that now. And I continuously remind myself that. So one of the things that I also want to share with you all is how I've started to recover from being a toxic lover girl, from being someone who loved too hard with no reciprocity. One of the best things I ever did was I started affirming myself. I've said in many of my episodes that our words have power. And so I started doing what I call mirror work. And I started looking in the mirror and I started affirming myself. I started saying beautiful and powerful things to me. And so I want to share some of my favorite affirmations with you all in case you might need to start pointing to yourself and affirming yourself and talking to yourself in the right way. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. I deserve love. I can do hard things. I am blessed and highly favored. I deserve peace. I'm worthy of peace. I'm deserving of peace. So those are some of the things that I would say to myself in the morning. And then I even started taking it a step further. I started looking in the mirror and I started pointing out things about myself physically that I loved about me. Even if it was something simple. I don't care if I said, girl, that baby hair is laying down today. Girl, your glasses are super clean today. Girl, you have a cute button nose. Like whatever it is. Girl, you have a beautiful body. It gave birth to 4 children. Like, I started doing those things. Another thing I started doing to start recovering and healing the lover girl in me. And I know she'll never completely go away, but I just realized that I have to love me first and then love everybody else afterwards. And it's not selfish. It's necessary. So another thing I started doing is I started understanding that, for one, relationships will change and sometimes it will get to the point where they no longer serve me. And I took the guilt out of that. I took the guilt out of the fact that some things run its course. Some relationships run its course. And some relationships God didn't never choose for you in the first place. So I started making peace with relationships ending. I started making peace with being with myself. I ain't even gonna say alone because I started being with God more. I started having conversations with God more. And there's nothing lonely about that. So with that being said, feel free to let me know in the comments if any of these affirmations that I shared resonated with you.